and I'd take the float over there and we'd park it near the, we had a German bratwurst stand. There were, I think at that time, 27 or 30 countries represented for the children up there. And play a little music on the front of that float where they have the, you know, it's like a little stage, and we decorated it with gnomes. We had garden gnomes and flowers all around. It was real popular. They still ask for it. But I was very, very pleased to tell you that a couple of years ago, when I saw that float taken out of our driveway and moved back to its rightful home at the time with the GEAS. When I acquired that float and I started working on it, inside there were so many names etched. People I didn't know, but people who built that. I think Tony was in there, I think David was in there. All these names all etched inside in the inside of the float. And think about that. Now that was built in the 1970s. It doesn't seem like, you know, I'm sure people who worked on it remember that parade float as something that was a project maybe not so long ago, but actually, you go back to the 1970s, I mean, that is, you think about it, our grandchildren could be riding on that float, where we rode on it as kids. I didn't ride it on it, but many of you did. So, lots of little legacies. We forget that we actually accumulate over a period of years, like 40 years. And it's been my pleasure to be a musician for the GEAS on many occasions, since around 86 or 87, I guess. Went up on Mona Avenue. I went to Emma down at the German pantry, because Emma had the German pantry. Remember those days? Sure. Yeah. And I said, Emma, I have this little, you know, I barely knew her. And of course I didn't know Inge at all at that time. So I went to Emma and I said, hey, I had this little German band, because I played the guest house over in Germany. And she said, well, come on down, we'll try you out. I gathered all these people together, and we had a little band, and we played for a wine fest. Remember the wine fest? Yeah. We used to lock those people up in jail and do all that stuff. Yeah. And that was the first time, and we were fortunate enough to play many times after that. But I look back at that, I mean, that was like in the 1980s. 1980s, like 20-something years ago. You know. Anyway, thoughts, just thoughts that when you see people gather for an event like that, you cannot help them. But think back, over the years, it takes an organization like the GEAS to get to where they are. And I think it's a wonderful legacy, a wonderful heritage, and it's something that is very, very important in Hampton Roads. Because, especially on the south side, if it wasn't for the GEAS, what would there be doing what you do? Interesting thought, isn't it? Thank you. Just thinking out loud while the band takes a break. Appreciate it.